Welcome back to the Gridiron Expert. Consistency. That is going to be the key for Oregon State football in 2022. The Beavers finally made a bowl game for the first time since 2013, going 7-6 and beating teams like USC, Utah, and Arizona State. But they also found ways to lose to teams like California, Colorado, and Utah State in their bowl game. A 7-6 season could have easily been a 10-3 season. The Beavers look poised to make a bowl game again in 2022, but how special this season will be determined by how consistent this team is. But one thing that the Beavers do not lack, guys, is experience. When you take a look at their numbers, these numbers, again, guys, brought to us by College Football Encyclopedia. Make sure to go take a look at his page down in the description below. The Beavers are 32nd in the country in returning productions. They return a lot from a team that averaged over 31 points per game and was 73rd in the nation when it came to defense, an area that does need to improve, but isn't too bad. They have an experienced quarterback returning in Chance Nolan, and they are very loaded in the trenches, both on the offensive line and especially the defensive line, led by guys like Isaac Hodgins, Cody Anderson, and Simon Sandberg. This is a team that's going to give some inferior offensive lines a lot of trouble, and the Oregon State defense as a whole should improve drastically. So we take a look at their schedule, guys, and see how they might do in 2022. They open the season up against Boise State. And really, this schedule, guys, does not provide any cupcake teams for the Beavers. It's a pretty difficult schedule when it's all said and done. But they open the year against another Mountain West opponent in Boise State, and I will say it's a good thing that this game is at home because it's very difficult to play on the Smurf turf. The good thing for Oregon State, too, is that Boise State is not what they used to be. Boise State, right now, many would say, isn't even the best team in the Mountain West Conference. Yes, they have a great quarterback in Hank Bachmeier, but the offensive line is very questionable for Boise State right now. The defense is pretty loaded for the Broncos, but just like we said a second ago, inferior offensive lines is going to be the strength, really, for Oregon State. That's something they're going to be able to take advantage of with their strong front seven, especially that defensive line. And I think that Oregon State will be able to exploit Boise State's weakness up front. I think they're going to be able to rattle Hank Bachmeier and a relatively inexperienced core of wide receivers. And with this game being at home, I'm going to give the edge to Oregon State here. I believe they start the year 1-0 with a quality win over Boise State. The next week, they play another Mountain West team at Fresno State. This time, they drop the game. So they lost to Utah State in their bowl games. So 3 straight games against Mountain West opponents to really, I know it dates back to last year, but still, lost to Utah State. We have them beating Boise State. We're going to have them losing to Fresno State. This game on the road is going to be tough, and I think that Fresno State is going to light up this Oregon State secondary because Jake Haener is one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Jake Haener threw for over 4,000 yards and 33 touchdowns last year. They are loaded on offense. This is a team that beat UCLA last year, nearly beat Oregon last year. Their defense returned 7 starters. They're ranked 32nd in the country, and Oregon State allowed over 243 passing yards per game last year, which was 92nd in the nation. I don't believe they're going to be able to stop one of the most prolific passing attacks in the country, especially on the road. They fall to Fresno State. We're going to give them the win over Montana State, but let's keep in mind that Montana State was the FCS runner-up last year. They made the national championship game before falling to North Dakota State. So not a cupcake win, cupcake team by any means. But we're going to give them the edge over Montana State. We do believe they are clearly the better team. Oregon State now 2-1. Then the schedule gets really difficult, guys. They get into that bulk of conference play, and the first 2 games are against what many would say are the top 2 teams maybe in the Pac-12, USC and Utah. And, of course, they have Oregon at the finale. USC, guys, we're going to chalk it up as a loss. Yes, we know that Oregon State beat USC 45-27 in the Coliseum last year, but that is not the same USC team, obviously. USC has now added Caleb Williams and Travis Dye and Austin Jones and Jordan Addison, Brendan Rice. I mean, they've completely transformed their team from a lot of the players aren't even there from last year. New head coach Lincoln Riley. This team is loaded, especially offensively. And right now, I don't think Oregon State has the defense, especially in the secondary, to stop this offense. And I also don't think Oregon State has the consistency on offense to hang with some of the more prolific offenses they will face. Yes, they averaged over 31 points per game last year, but they weren't extremely flashy. I don't think Oregon State can keep up in a shootout or against a team that can drop 30, 40 points like that. And I believe USC does win this game and gets revenge in Corvallis. They then travel on the road to Utah. Oregon State handed Utah their only conference loss last year. Only conference loss for Utah last year was against Oregon State, and then the Utes finally got high. Oregon State won 42-34, but like USC, Utah is a very different team, and they're certainly a different team on the road. Again, you look at the difference of the two halves of the seasons for Utah last year. They struggled in that first half, including that part against Oregon State, got hot down the end, annihilated Oregon twice, nearly beat Ohio State in the Rose Bowl. It was just a tale of two seasons, really, two halves for them. It's a completely different case now in 2022. Utah is going to be a complete team. We don't see them struggling. It's in Salt Lake City. Oregon State drops the game to the Utes, and we believe they drop the road game to Stanford. And now, like, a lot of Oregon State fans will disagree with that. It's like, how? We won 35-14 last year. How do you have us losing to Stanford? I look at this, guys, and I say, first off, Oregon State's a little bit beat up. Two physical games against USC and Utah. You're going to come into this game a little bit beat up against Stanford. It is on the road. Home field advantage will play a key role for the Cardinal, and Tanner McKee for Stanford is the real deal. While the Cardinal might not be Pac-12 title contenders like we've seen in years past, while Stanford might not even make a bowl game in 2022, Tanner McKee is legit, and he will be an NFL quarterback as soon as possibly next year. I believe he has what it takes to light up, again, a secondary last year for Oregon State that was 92nd in the country. In a game that I really view as a toss-up, I'm giving the edge to the home team here. Oregon State has now lost 3 straight games. They find themselves at 2-4 after a 2-1 start. Things start to lighten up, though. They come back home to take on Washington State. We're going to chalk that up as a win. They they play Washington State, a team that right now is very, very good offensively, but still has a couple questions defensively. And that's my question here. Can Oregon State exploit Washington State? And really more so, can Washington State stop Oregon State? Again, the Beavers, we don't have them as the most prolific offense in the conference, but the one thing they can do and have done effectively is run the football. They do run the football well. And Washington State allowed 160.5 rushing yards per game last year. I believe the Beavers exploit that. The defensive line is able to take care of Washington State's offensive line and rattle Cam Ward a little bit, their new quarterback. Oregon State wins the game at home against the Cougars, and then they take care of Colorado. Yes, they lost to the Buffaloes by 3 in double overtime last year. They won't slip up again, especially at home. Colorado, for many, the worst team in the Pac-12. So they were 2-4. Now they are 4-4 heading into their bye week, a late bye week. They take on Washington right after that. They beat Washington last year by 3, 27-24. No one really knows exactly what to expect from the Huskies this year. New head coach in Kalen DeBoer, new quarterback in Michael Penix. The defense doesn't return a whole lot of starters, but is loaded with talent. And it's really just a matter of how quickly Kalen DeBoer can build that up. Yes, the Beavers are coming off a bye, but the game is in Seattle. That's going to be a tough one here. Keep in mind that Washington also had the #1 passing defense in the country last year. So I believe Washington can hone in on the pass, shut down Chance Nolan, force Oregon State to run the ball. Washington State's defense can hone in on that. And I believe that Washington, in a close game, beat Oregon State at home. They're now 4-5. But I will go quick here. I do believe Oregon State wins their next 2 games to clinch bowl eligibility. So rest assured, Beaver fans, you're going bowling again. We believe they take care of California. Yes, they somehow lost to California by 14 points last year. This is a game that I believe is relatively evenly matched, but if I'm looking at a team that's better offensively, it is Oregon State. Oregon State owns home field advantage here, and defensively, these two teams are about the same. On paper and really physically, Oregon State should own almost every single edge in this game against the Golden Bears, who can't seem to get over the hump with Justin Wilcox. Give them the win there, and give them the win against Arizona State, a team they beat by 14 last year. And yes, the game is on the road in the desert, not an easy place to play, but Arizona State is a dumpster fire right now. A lot of bad stuff going on within that program. A lot of players leaving the program. Oregon State, from a consistency standpoint, should be able to take care of the Sun Devils, knowing that they need to clinch bowl eligibility to avoid it being a winner-take-all situation for them against Oregon in the season finale. Because yes, they get to host Oregon. Yes, it will be senior night, but Oregon has dominated this series against the Beavers. The Beavers are getting better. Won the game against Oregon just a few years ago. Only lost by 9 to the Ducks last year. But the Ducks guys are once again going to be one of the better teams in the Pac-12, maybe even in the country. New head coach in Dan Lanning, fantastic defense. It should be maybe a potential low-scoring defensive battle. But if I'm, again, looking for a team that has the offensive edge, it's going to be the Ducks. A team that I think is going to be more explosive and consistent on offense, it's going to be the Ducks. I believe Oregon owns the line of scrimmage edge. They definitely own the offensive line edge. I believe they own the quarterback edge with Bo Nix. Oregon State drops the game to the Ducks in their season finale, but finished the year at 6-6. And again, last year, guys, was the first time they went bowling since 2013. Now they're going bowling in back-to-back years. So while I do take a minor step back, 7-5 to 6-6, if you're a Beaver fan, you got to be happy with, once again, playing in the postseason. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos. We have tons more predictions coming your way over the following days, so do not miss out on that. Also, make sure to check out everything down in the description below and go sign up again for those expert picks. Some of the best college football and NFL spread picks in the country for one of the lowest prices in the country. We're here to help you and to help you win big. So make sure to go sign up for those today and join our team. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.